Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to a big Key Stage 2 lesson on place value and decimals. It's a really important topic to understand. It's how our number system works. We're going to look at some multiplying, we're going to play times table, bingo at the end to test some of those times tables. Some of you might be struggling with a bit to get some practice with that, and we're going to start with something a bit special as well. So hopefully you've got a grid like this, or you can just draw one out. So the important thing is you've got 5 by 5 there that we're going to put, well, we'll put the numbers on first. So I need from everyone on the chat some random numbers between 1 and 10. I'm going to take the first 10 numbers that you put on the chat for me. So the first 10 numbers I'm going to write up.
Where do I put these on, Daddy?
There it is. So I want you to give me some random numbers on the chat here, and I will look at the first ones that come up.
7, 6, 4, 1, 3, 9.
So I'm just finding the chat, I can't seem to find it. So I'm looking for 10 random numbers. I'm just checking we've got those by now.
Oh, Daddy.
No, I don't even want you to write them on.
What did it say? Do I write them on?
No, you're not listening to it. Right, okay, so the numbers, it was number between 1 and 10 it does say. So I'm going to take the first numbers on my chat. So we've got 3, 10, 2, 8, 'We've got 1, 6, 7, I'll go on, then we'll take 14 anyway, just to make things a bit trickier. 14, 8 and 6. So on your grids, can you copy those numbers down for me, please? Can you copy those numbers down for me? And I just want to also make sure while you're copying those numbers down that we've got the bingo winners from last week on.
I didn't know.
Just copy them up, put them in, and just copy them on the new ones on.
What do you want?
Those numbers there. So you all want to have those blue numbers on your grids. Right, while you're doing that as well, I want to know, these people that won the bingo last week, can you tell me the day you were born? So if you were born on the 12th of December, can you post number 12? So just for these winners here from the bingo last time, because you're going to be part of this thing to start with. So the people that won last time the bingo, those people on the board there, can you please post me your birthdays? I just need the day you're born. So if you were born on the 13th or the 1st, just tell me what day that was, please.
Daddy, there's double 8 on there. Daddy, it's meant to be double 8. Daddy.
Yeah.
It's meant to be double 8. There.
Yeah. Okay, have I got any more of those birthdays? Any more of those birthdays? So you should have this grid drawn with those numbers in. If you're not here, right, I need a few more birthdays. So first people to post their birthdays, so just the day they were born in. The day you were born in, please. We've got Finn was born on the 7th. So I can have a few more birthdays up there, please. Just to clarify, you should have these numbers written on your grid. Okay, so I've got someone with the 10 and the 15. Okay, we'll have another birthday because we're going to have 4 birthdays and 16. Okay, so those are our birthdays.
I think Ethan said he was 15.
Okay, well these are the birthdays. These are random birthdays from the people that have picked them there. So we got 7, 10, 15, 16. Now, what I want you to do with this grid is we're going to do some adding up. So we're going to start with 6 plus 3. And we're going to put our first answer, 6 plus 3, is going to go in the middle there. So 6 and 3 will go 18. Then moving down, we're going to do 7 plus 3, which would be 10. Then we're going to do 14 plus 3, which would be 17. And moving across, we do 6 plus 10, which will be 16. So can you try and fill in the whole addition grid? So can you try and add up all those numbers as a bit of a warm-up to fill in your addition grid there? Okay?
8 add 14.
My birthday as well is the 17th of May. So we've got our birthdays here. I'm going to write these birthdays down so we don't forget them. In fact, they're the birthdays are. So we're going to add these together. So we're going to do 2 plus 6 will be 8 in there. Then we're going to do 8 plus 6 is going to be 14. 1 plus 6 is going to be 7. 10 plus 7 is going to be 17. So can you see how you're adding these up as you go along? Yes, sorry, you are. 6 plus 3 is definitely 9, not 18. Sorry about that. 6 plus 3 equals 9. Thank you.
Alright, boy. Daddy.
Layla, sorry I missed your shout out last time, good to see you. Sorry, yeah, so we're adding them together, we're not times them, that was my fault, I always do that. Okay, so add these numbers together. It's not 18, sorry, I'm going crazy. Lockdown fever. So keep adding these up in your grid.
Daddy, I don't think that's meant to be 16, the second one.
10 plus 6 is 16.
You're just confusing me.
Add them up there, yeah?
So you're telling me to
add always a top one with that one, so it's 3 and 8 goes in there. 10 and 8. Just start on that though, don't worry if you don't get them all.
Okay.
So 10 plus 6 would go there, then 10 plus 7. So you're always adding the top number and the number on the left.
10 plus 14. 10 plus 8, 18. 16.
So this one here, I do the 14 plus the 8, which would give me 22. Okay, so we're adding together the numbers on the outside.
Daddy.
So we'll just finish this grid off, so you should have 9. Well done those people that have done this. You can still do the next, but anyway, even if you haven't. So 11, 18, 10, 16, 9, and then we've got 9, 16, 8, 14 and 7. Okay, so we've got our blue square of numbers there. Okay, don't worry if you haven't finished that, we can do the next bit together. So you've got all of those numbers were added up. These are based on the random numbers you gave me at the beginning, so I had no idea what they were going to be. Okay, I want someone now to pick any one of the numbers in the middle. So just put it on the chat. Let's pick one of the numbers in the middle. The first one to do it, we're going to select your number. So pick any one of the numbers in the middle. First one you can pick, let me know. Hello Freya, age 9 from Sale, nice to see you. And
16.
Layla, age in Scotland.
Just did 16.
Yeah, you're right. The same answers for the 6 and 6 there, that's correct. Okay, so 9. Someone's picked 9. Okay, so we're going to circle this 9. Okay, I'm then going to cross out all the ones from that row and all the ones from that row. So we got the 9. Okay, can someone pick another number that's left? Okay, 22 I'm seeing.
Daddy,
So we'll circle 22. Cross out all the ones from that row and column. Any numbers left from there? 14. 14's not there anymore. 11 is still there, so we'll take the 11. Cross out those ones. Cross out those ones.
Daddy, you said we
Don't wait here, just watch the board. Any more? 7. Okay, we'll take the 7 there. Cross out those ones, that's 7, and that leaves 16. So we have 5 random numbers, 5 completely random numbers. I have no idea what those are going to be. Can you add together those numbers? So you've got 5 numbers to try and add together. Okay?
Yeah.
So those 5 numbers, I have no idea what those are going to be. So we've got, I'll write them in a column for you, that might help. 16, 9, 22, 11 and 7. Can we add together those numbers there, please?
Okay, so 6 add 9 add 2 add 1 add 7. 6 add 9 equals 15. Add 2. 17. Add 1. 18. Add 7.
So can we add together all the numbers you guys have picked by yourselves?
23. So that side equals 23 and then 30.
I think it's 25 actually. 25, add your 40 on.
25 add 40 equals 60.
That's a 9 there, guys. That's a 9, not a 4. So add 5 to your answers.
65.
Well done. Okay, so if you add together all those numbers, you get 65. Okay, now then, the birthdays you gave me at the beginning, let's add those birthdays together now. So these are the birthdays you gave me at the beginning of this lesson. Okay, so we got Finn's birthdays. I can't remember who the others' birthdays were, but if you add together those birthdays for me, okay, let's have a look at what you get. So add together the birthdays now
17
and see what we get.
add 25 equals 32.
People have got 60, that was a 9 there, not a 4.
Okay, makes 30. 32. Add one more to 10, gets me to 42. 42 add 6 equals 48. Adds another, gets me to 50.
Very good there.
58 adds 7.
55, 65. So you add the birthdays together and you get 65 as well. So amazingly, your birthdays that you randomly selected at the beginning, the birthdays are the same as the random numbers that you picked there. So your birthdays, and I did not know your birthdays, of course I didn't know your birthdays. You gave me your birthdays, I took the first birthdays. You picked the random numbers. We added them together and amazingly, the random numbers that you picked add up to the same as the random people's birthdays I picked. Okay? So, a little magic trick for you to think about there.
How did you do that?
Okay. Anyway, right, moving on to the main part of the lesson. Okay, and this is all about our numbers, how they work. We're going to get into some decimals, we're going to do some puzzles as well, and then we'll play bingo at the end. So, we've got here a number. And you should be able to say that number. So before I say it, you say it yourself at home. You say that number. Okay, say it to the person next to you. Say it to the adult that's with you. Can you say that? Shh, not you, Thea. You can say it in a bit. Can you say that number? And then I'll let Theo say it as well. So make sure you say that number to yourself. Go on, Theo, what is it?
6,328.74.
Very good. 6,328.74. We don't say that as 74 because it actually means 7, 4. We've got 7 in that column and 4 in that column. Okay, now I'm going to test what you know to start with, then we're going to go through this properly. Do you know how much each digit is actually worth in that number? So what is the 6 actually worth? It's not worth 6 single ones, that's for sure, definitely not. It's worth much more than that. What is the 3 actually worth? How much is this 3 worth? How much is a 2 worth? How much is the 8 worth? So can you see if you can answer those to start with? You don't need to write them down if you don't want to. You can just say them. And then we're going to look at this and we're going to explain how this works by looking at some pictures that I've made.
Okay, let's think about this. So, does it have something to do with that point? With that point?
Hi Elsie, 9 years old, good to have you with us.
Daddy?
Yep.
I feel like actually that's point actually means, I think when you do this, I think actually because of that point, everything, the point goes away, like, and then this 7 add 4 just gets add on normally.
Not quite. Just say what they. So say the ones you know what they are worth there.
Okay.
Okay, so let's have a look at this now. So starting with the 8, I'm going to start with the 8 there. That 8 is quite simply just worth 8, isn't it? Okay, it's just worth 8 single ones. The 2 is in the tens column, so that is worth 20, or you could say 2 tens, but I just write down 20. The 3 is in the hundredths column, and we're going to look at this more in a bit. So the 3 is worth 300, and the 6 is worth 6,000. Okay, moving to the trickier ones here. After the point, we get into tenths. Okay, these are really small bits here. So the 7 is worth, you can say 7 tenths, or 7 tenths as a fraction if you want, and the 4 is worth 4 hundredths, or 4 hundredths, like that. Okay, I'll show you that on the board here as well, so I've got the answers there. So, it's like that, 6,000, 3,000, 28, 7 tenths, 4 hundredths. Now, that might not mean much, so we're going to really look at what this actually means, what these numbers are made up of. Okay, and I thought the best way to do it is by using blocks. Okay, so let's look at the 8 first. There I've got 8 small blocks. Each one of those blocks is a single unit, we call them. It's just a 1, so we've got 8 ones there. That is the 8. You can see what that means. Now let's look at the 2 now. The 2, looking at it there, the 2 is smaller than the 8, but it's not. It's much bigger. Let's have a look at this. Okay, we've got the 20 there. That is much bigger than the 8. Look at that, we've got 2 blocks of 10s. 2 tens gives us more than the 8, doesn't it? Moving along, and this is going to start to look pretty big now. We've got 300. Look at the size of 300. You don't often think about how big these numbers are when we write them down, but that is a huge number. Look at them all. Look at that compared to the 8. There's all these 1s is 300. Okay, that's a big, big number. Now then, are we going to have room for the 6,000? Just have a look. I'm going to have to zoom out now to fit in 6,000. There we go. Look at the size of that. I've never thought about it this way before. But look how big 6,000 is. The 8 is tiny, the 300 suddenly looks really small. And we've got this huge number with these 6,000. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. So these numbers are really, really important. Okay? And these get even smaller. So to show how small these bits get, okay, I'm going to have to zoom in. So that's our single one. That's a single one unit. We're going to have to zoom right in. We have to zoom in, and then we can get to it here. We split it into tenths. And 7/10 is just that little bit of this single one. So we're in tenths, like fractions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7/10 there split into it. Then if we move it again, okay, to zoom in for the hundredths, we can say 400ths. If we split this into 10 again, we've then got 400ths, which is a tiny amount. If we put those together, we end up with, that's your 7/10 and 400ths, which is also, if it's just in hundredths, it's 7400ths. These tiny little sections of a number, tiny little fractions. So if we put this back with the other one now, let's just have a look at how small it really is. Okay, so the whole number looks something like this. There's your 6,000. There's your 300. There's your 20. There's your 8. And look at this guy here, this little tiny little bit here. That's your 7/10. And there's a little speck there which you won't even be able to see, which is your 400ths.
I can literally just see it.
So that's what a number is all about. Okay, it's much more than you look at it. That looks quite simple, but it's actually complicated. Okay, but it's a much easier way of writing it. Okay, so we're going to think about that, and I want you now to see if you can now answer the next bit on your workbooks at home. Can you write down what each digit is worth in this number? So write down, just list at home, what is each digit worth? Think about those diagrams.
Can you draw my column for me?
You can just write 4 equals 9 equals, okay?
Okay.
Right, so hopefully that shows why it's called tenths as well. Some of you are asking why it's called tenths, because you're splitting it into 10 sections. You're splitting the number into tenths. And for this one, you're splitting it into hundredths. Okay? You can't just write down 0.3 for that. We need to show you know what it means. It's those little tiny bits of splitting a number, zooming in and splitting it into. Then when you're writing tenths and hundredths, you can write them as a fraction if you prefer, like I've done on the board, tenths and hundredths. Think about how you'd write that whole number there. Okay, right, so we'll look at these quickly here. So the 4 is 4,000. The 9 is 900. The 2 is 20. The 1 is just 1. The 3, we can't always write 0.3 for it. That's too easy. So we need to write really 3 tenths, or we could also write 3 tenths like that. Okay, because you need to show you know it's splitting into 10. And this one down here is 6 hundredths or 6 hundredths. If you are spelling it, make sure you get the t-h on the end so you know it's hundredths, not hundreds. Okay, so those are the answers. If you put in 0.3, you're not going to be allowed that. You need to make sure you're understanding it's what tenths really are. Okay? Right, so we're going to use this now to do something which is really, really, really important. I'll show you why it's so important in real life at the end. So, looking at this question here. Well, not a question. So, if we get 0.01, so that's a 100th there, that's 100. If we get 10 of them, we get this, which is a tenth. If we get 10 of those, we get a whole one. If we get 10 ones, we get a 10. So every time you times by 10, you're moving to the next column. You're going one along because you're getting 10 of them. We go up in tens each column. If you divide by 10, if you split this into 10, you're going to get one of those, aren't you? If you split this into 10, you're going to get a 10. So when we times, we go that way. When we divide, we go that way. When we divide by tens and hundreds and things like that. It's what makes our numbers so great, really. It's what makes them so easy to count in. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay? The decimal point always stays in the same place. So my decimal point is here. I'm going to put a big point there. And then I've got some numbers here. So if I had 5.4, okay, and I times it by 10, if I times this by 10, the 5 will go to there, the 4 will go to there. So I'll end up with 54. Okay? If I times it by 10 again, the 5 goes to there, the 4 goes to there, and then I add a 0 just to show that there's nothing there. So 540. So we are moving to the left and to the right. Okay? Let's test it out quickly before we do some questions on it. So I want to know, on the chat please, what is 3.7 times by 10? What is 3.7 times by 10? Can't do it?
37.
Very good. Okay, so if you times this by 10, okay, the 3 will go to the 10, the 7 will go to the 1, so there. Okay, so it moves along each place. It's a really powerful way to think about timesing and dividing by 10 and 100. Okay, sticking with the 37. What would happen if you times this by 100? If you times 37 by 100, think about where it will go. I'm just going to get some tape. Never find the end.
That's why sometimes it's good to literally just fold it so then you know where the end is. It's just there.
I can't find the oh, there it is, there it is. Got it?
I think we found.
Got it. So the question is, what do you think 37 times 100 would be? 37 times 100. Get your answers on the chat if they're not already on there. Looks like we've got some answers already. Brilliant, easy. I'm glad you're saying this easy. It's fantastic. Okay, 37 times 100. 1, 2, because we times it by 100. 1, 2 times it by 100. And then you stick your 2 zeros in as well to hold the place, and you end up with that there. Okay, right, one more, and I'm going to give you some to do. Okay, what do you think 37, in fact 73, what is 73 divided by 100? 73 divided by 100. I want you to find this easy. 73 divided by 100.
I think I know this.
73 divided by 100. On the other one, I had to move 2 places. We're divided by 100, so we're going 2 places again. It's moving 2 places. Think which way everything is going. 73. Well done. There's some really good answers there. I'm so glad everyone's got that one right already. 73 divided by 100. What do you reckon, Theo?
I think the 3 would be a 100th, and the 7 would be a 10th.
So how would you say the number?
I don't know.
Write it down. Just write it down. Okay, so remember, if we are dividing by 100, we are going 2 places. So if we are dividing by 100, the 3 will go 2 places to there, the 7 will go there, and we normally stick a 0 there to say 0.73. 0.73. Okay? Everything's getting much, much smaller. Now then, I'm going to give you some questions to do, and we're going to use these answers to answer some different puzzles, do a bit of problem solving with. So, there the questions are. You've got 8 questions. These are easily as difficult as you will get in year 6. Okay? You get questions like this all the way in GCSE even. But these are the kind of questions you might get on your year 6 SATs, but the hard ones, the very difficult ones. Okay? So have a go at those questions, and then we'll go through them, and then we are going to look at using these to do something a little different. Okay? If you've got any problems, please let me know. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Okay, Theo, try and answer this question you put me on, okay?
Okay. But which page do I do it on?
Start on that one there, okay? Okay, some good answers. You don't need to put all these on. You can just answer them on your sheet of paper. Okay, if you want some more chat, if you're really good at this, I'm going to put some harder ones on the board. There's some extra challenges on the board here in red. Okay, there are some incredibly difficult questions on the board. If you finish those, it's great. This is so fast once you get used to it. There are some really difficult ones on the board. Okay? Come on, this is really, if you can do this, this is fantastic.
So 7 times 10.
Mm-hmm.
72. Add 3.7.
No, that's a separate question. 3.7 times 10.
So 7. I don't get.
It moves, everything moves, yeah. So if I put it on the board, I'll put the 3.7 on the board for you. So there it is, Theo, yeah?
Yeah.
You times in by 10. So think about which way everything goes. Where would the 3 go?
The 10.
Where would the 7 go?
The 1.
The 1. So what have you got if you just sort of listen up?
7.
That's it, okay? So you think about that and then move it along. I mean, use something like this until you get used to it. Use something like this and just move the digits along. That's all that's happening when you times in by 10. Show that with the little blocks and how big those numbers get.
20. Okay. 220 divided by 10.
So imagine where the 220 is on the board.
Yeah.
And then think about which
I know.
way this time, yeah? Right, so you're stuck in a 19 divided by 10 one. If you look on the board here, So here is your 19. There's your point. If you are dividing by 10, the 9 is going to move from the ones column to the tenths column. So the 9 will not be there anymore. The 9, I'll do it underneath in fact, the 9 will go to there. Okay, the point is still there. The 1 is going to move 1 across because it's going to divide. We're going this way. So the 1 will go to there to 1.9. Everything moves. If you divide by 10, everything gets smaller. Everything moves one space along. If you are timesing by 10, everything moves one space along that way. It's this thing of moving. Okay, and it only works with timesing and dividing by 10 because of those block diagrams I showed you earlier.
Daddy.
So you might have been told to just add zeros, and that doesn't always work. It's not about adding zeros, it's about moving them along. Okay, I'll just look at E as well. So E, 0.71 times 100. So if you've got 0.71 times 100, okay, if we are timesing that by 100, it's going to go that way. It's going to get bigger 2 places. So the 7 is going to go 1, 2. The 7 is going to be there. The 1 is going to go 1, 2 places. The 1 is going to be there. So you end up with 7 tens and 1, 71 is your answer. So everything shifts left and right. Okay, it moves along.
8.3 times 10.
Don't worry about these ones. I'm not, people asking for extra challenges. Think about what 47 times 2 is and then maybe change it. Don't worry about those ones.
Okay, so So 88.3 times 10. So 3 times 10.
Okay, 30 seconds more. And the ones on the board as well. Wow, fantastic.
Times 10 equals 30 and 88.
Which one do you want here?
B.
Oh, another B. Oh, why's another B there? Oof, E, F.
That should be F. G, H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I noticed that on the other one that I was with the point that I was timesing.
Right, everything goes that way, doesn't it?
Yep. So the 88. So the 8 will go to the 800.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They will go to the 8.
Okay, right, we're going to have a look at these answers. I'm going to write them on the board because we're going to need these answers. So A, if you've done A,
800.
okay, A was 70. Okay, B was 37. C was 22. D was 1.9. E was 71. F was 883. G was 0.6, so that's not even a whole one. And H was 8,760. If you try the super challenges here, okay, first one here is 3080, so 3080. If you were doing 47 times 0.2, 47 times 2 is 94. You're then going to have to divide it by 10 for this. So the point goes there. This one do 24 times 12 first, which is 288. We then need to divide it by 10 for this, and for this, and for this. So we're going to have to divide it by 10 3 times. So everything's going to move smaller, 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 and you end up with 0.288. Okay? That is very much GCSE work there. So if you having a go at those ones, amazing. Okay? These are the important ones though. Now then, last thing we're going to do before bingo. These answers here, so these answers on the board are the answers to these unusual questions here on the next one. Okay? So what I've got here is 8 questions there that you might know or you might not know. Okay, Theo might potentially know one of it. That is me there. So we've got 1, I want to know the average length of a black ant in centimetres. 2, I want to know the number of hours a koala sleeps for each day. 3, I want to know the number of hours a giraffe sleeps for each day. 4, the fastest recorded speed of a cheetah, so the fastest speed a cheetah's ever gone at. My age, be nice please. Number of goals scored this season in the Premier League. So in football, how many goals have been scored so far from all the teams all together. 7, the speed limit on the UK motorway. So how many miles an hour you are allowed to go on the motorway. And number 8, how many hours are there in a whole year? Now the answers are those there. The answers are on the board. You've got the answers. You're going to put those answers, match them with the right one. So where does A go? A is 70. Which one of those is 70 the answer for? Do not say question 5, that is me. So you've got to match up those with those there. I'd like them a bit bigger on the board for you here. And you don't need to complete your guess. You've got multiple choice. You can estimate some of these and match them with those there. So I'll just write these again so you can see them a bit clearer. 8, A equals 70, B equals 37, C equals 22, D equals 1.9, E equals 71, F equals 883, G equals 0.6, and H equals 8,760. So you're matching those answers to those answers there. Okay, they all match up. Can you work out which one goes in which place? Feel free to discuss this with each other as well in the chat. If you've got an idea, you know, put it by someone else, see what they think.
I think that should be a big answer, maybe. 6, 8.
So remember, these answers are those answers there. I'd start with the ones that you think, you know, I definitely know that one, and then you can cross them off the list and then you can try and guess some of the others. If you are finding this times in by 10 thing and 100 thing easy, that is fantastic. So many people find this really, really difficult. So if you are managing this, this is such an important thing. And I'll show you why it's important in a bit after this. But it is so important.
1.9 This is so confusing me now.
Tricky, aren't they?
I think I've got that side right.
Okay, good, good. Think about these answers here for 2 and 3. You know the maximum they could possibly be because you should know how many hours there are in a day. So that can help you narrow down which ones those need to be.
24, okay then, maybe I'll have to get... 24 hours in a day.
We did some length as well, so if you're talking about centimetres, what do we say a centimetre was if you're in that lesson, the other lesson?
100.
A centimetre, how long is it? What did I tell you to test it out with? Centimetre is about the width of your finger. Okay, roughly the width of your finger. So for the ant one, think about how long an ant is. Is an ant longer than your finger? Is an ant thicker than your finger or not? A normal black ant, or is it smaller than that? So that might tell you about which one needs to be the ant.
I think maybe.
Okay, right, let's go through this and see what you've got for these. So, first one, the average length of a black ant. Okay, an ant is definitely smaller than a finger, and if a finger is a centimetre, then it's got to be less than that. So the ant has got to be 0.6 centimetres, which is 6 millimetres. So this is number 1. Okay, number 2 and 3. So, they're about animals sleeping. They've got to be less than 24 hours. Which animal do you think looks more sleepy out of a koala or a giraffe?
Koala.
A koala. So a koala is your 22 hours. So how lazy is a koala? If you think some of you are lazy, a koala sleeps in bed or in its tree for 22 hours out of 24. It's only awake for 2 hours. It's only awake for 2 hours. A giraffe, on the other hand, is up all the time. A giraffe only sleeps for 1.9 hours. Less than 2 hours a giraffe sleeps for. So it's very, very busy. It's awake for all the time the koala's asleep. Fastest recorded speed of a cheetah is 71 miles per hour. And the speed limit on a motorway is 70 miles an hour. So technically, if you were on the motorway with your mum driving, a cheetah could actually overtake you. Amazing. It could actually get done for speeding. So the police could pull over the cheetah and say, you're going too fast there, Mr. Cheetah. I'm going to give you a ticket. So, incredible how fast cheetahs can go. Okay, my age is 39. I did have to check that. I always get mixed up.
37.
And 37, so I've said 39. My age is 37. And then we get on to the number of hours in a year and the goals in the Premier League season. So, number of hours in a year is 24 times by 365 days. Okay? So if you just say rounded that and did about 20 times 400, we're looking at about 8,000. So this is the number of hours in a year, and there have been 883 goals in the Premier League this season. I added it up last night. Okay, so there your answers are. Right, just before bingo, I promised I would show you why this is so important. And I'll take you to 2018 with a little news story that I call Olympic Eggs. Okay, these are the chefs for the Norway Winter Olympics team, and they wanted to order in some eggs for their people. Okay, as you would do, because eggs, great source of protein, great for athletes. So what they did is they ordered 1,500 eggs is what they wanted, but they accidentally ordered 15,000. They times it by an extra 10. So whatever they did it very wrong, and they got 15,000 eggs instead. Okay? This is 1,000 eggs. Imagine 15 lots of that. So one of those, another one of those. Think how many eggs these people in Norway had. They had so many more eggs. By making one mistake with putting a 0 in the wrong place, they ended up with 13,500 extra eggs. Even worse than this, these eggs were delivered up a mountain because they're in the Winter Olympics. So they had 13,500 extra eggs delivered all the way up a mountain and loads of trucks filled with eggs that were just wasted. I don't know what they did with them, but that is too many eggs. So it's so important you don't mess up when you are multiplying or dividing by 10 or 100. And this is professionals doing this. This was just 2 years ago at the Winter Olympics. So mistakes do matter. Not just in your maths exam, they matter in real life. What a waste that was. Okay? So, work on this. It should be fast, but be accurate with it as well. Okay, right, we are going to play bingo. And it's going to be times table bingo. So you need a grid of 9. So you need 9 numbers to pick. We are playing for full house. You need to get all of them to win. The winners I will try and put into the lesson next week as well. And we're going to have on the top row, I want multiples of 6. On the middle row, I want multiples of 7. Any multiples of 7 from the first 10. So you can go all the way up to 70. On the bottom row, I want multiples of 8 up to 80. So any 3 multiples of 8. So that's the 8 times tables. Any 3 from the 7 times tables, any 3 from the 6 times tables. Okay? See what you can do there. I know this is for older people, but you might be able to work it out, a few of them, because you know your 3s, don't you? And your 2s. Okay? Does that make sense? So 3 6 times tables, 3 7 times tables, 3 8 times tables. There are some very good numbers to pick on this that will have more chance of coming up as well. So be smart and pick the numbers that are more likely to come up. I haven't changed my hat once. Slacking, guys, I'm slacking.
Piggy. Hey, Mr. Pig. Hey, Mr. Piggy.
The microphone's getting in the way of my hat. Okay, so we're picking our numbers, so we're looking at times tables this time.
Daddy, can you help me draw my grid?
No, try yourself.
Pen. Daddy, pen. I'm doing it.
Where was the pen you... I don't know where your pen's here.
You
Oh, you want a whiteboard one, okay. Up to 10 times, you're up to 10 times, so don't get past 10. Okay, we're nearly ready.
No, Daddy, I'm not ready yet. I've not even had a chance to draw my timetables. 7. Okay. So that's 2, that's 3, and that's 2. And there was a 10. So that's...
Multiples are times tables. I've used that word on purpose, so it's multiples of 6. So the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24. It's times tables, but these are the words you need to be using at home and getting used to. Multiples,
Not
times
factors.
tables. Multiples of 7, multiples of 8. Factors and multiples, important words that we don't use enough.
Factors are stuff that goes into it.
Okay, so we are ready for bingo. The all-important rules, of course. When you have 2 squares left, we need all 9 squares to win. Not 1 row, all 9 squares to win. When you have 2 squares to go, stand up and down saying, shaky, shaky. When you have 1 square to go, stand up and shout, top banana. And I've lost my special banana I bought. I don't know where he's gone. Probably been eaten. He's too delicious. So we're going to look for our multiple bingo, and when you have all of them won, all 9 numbers, you shout bingo. You can post it on the chat as well, and I will definitely give some shout outs. Okay, right, so our first number is going to be 6 times 10. 6 times 10. 10 times 6. 10 times 6. 10 sixes is your first number. 10 times 6 is your first number. Next number. Next number is 1 times 7. 1 times 7. 1 times 7. Next number, this is a good one to have, this had a good chance of coming up. 7 times 8. 7 times 8. 7 times 8 was definitely a good number to pick. Think about why it was a good number to pick in this bingo.
Why was it?
Next number, 4 times 8. 4 times 8. 4 times 8. We have 5 times 8. 5 eighths. What is 5 eighths? 5 times 8. And we can always flip it the other way around and do 8 times 5. 9 times 7. 9 times 7. No one likes a 9. Start with your 10s and work backwards if you need to. Think what 10 sevens are. Work backwards to 9 sevens. But you need to memorise these. 9 times 7. Next one we have 8 times 6. 8 times 6. 8 times 6. 8 times 6. We have a square number next. We have 7 times 9. 7 times 9. And now we've got 4 times 7. 4 times 7. 4 times 7. Any shaky shakies yet? Any shaky shakies? Any shaky shakies? Any top bananas? Probably not. We're early doors at the moment. Early doors. Next number. 10 times 7. 10 times 7. We got 10 times 7. 10 times 7. 10 times 7 is your next number. 10 times 7. Your next number, another... Oh, that's not a square number. It is a square number, but it's 2 times 8. 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is your next number. 2 times 8. Bingo again, and a shaky shaky. Shaky shaky from Patrick. Shaky shaky. And we've got a bingo from Fraser, but again, bingo expert. We're looking for a few more winners. We're going to have 2 more winners. Okay, 2 more winners. A shaky shaky from Patrick. Have we got any more shaky shakies?
Top banana.
Anyway, top banana! Top banana! We got a top banana. Top banana. Top banana. Another top banana as well. Oh, goodness me. It's getting tense. It's getting tense. Could this number bring joy to you, to your bingo journey? Here we have it. 4 times 6. 4 times 6. Top banana, Patrick! Patrick, top banana. We have a top banana for Patrick. Bingo! Bingo from our rabbit. And we're going to have a shaky shaky as well. A shaky shaky. We're looking for 1 more bingo. And we got another bingo as well. We're going to take 1 more bingo. I'm going to take 1 more bingo. It's a top banana again. A top banana. We've got 1 more bingo coming up. Could this be a bingo? It's a 9. It's 9 times 8. 9 times 8. 9 times 8. Bingo! It's bingo magic. There our bingos are. Right. We'll take those winners. Well done today. Really important lesson. That times it by 10. Times it by 100. It's so important to be able to do easy. Think about the grid. Think about moving. Right. Lesson next week, because there's nothing on Friday. It's bank holiday next Friday. We will be in on Thursday. And I am, hopefully, all being well, moving to YouTube. I think the quality will be better. It'll start freezing for some of you. It'll just be better on YouTube. So we're going to move to YouTube. I'll try and make a YouTube channel, however that works. And I'll give the details on the Facebook page. So we'll be on YouTube all next week for all the lessons. This one, the Key Stage 2 one, will be on Thursday. Okay? So Thursday lesson. Right, well done today. Some tough stuff. You all worked really hard. Keep up the good work. And as always, you and your family stay safe. I will see you later. I will look at all the bingo winners I've got for Fraser and Finn there. Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you next time.
I just needed 4 more.